Okay, well, the trees are rather large. It turns out I have to have the mod enabled in-game for it to actually work with Capture Age. Just figuring that out, because recently with the game update, it made it possible to actually select small trees in the settings of the game. But welcome, ladies and gents. We've got a 1v1 game on a very open, awkward map, and we've got a fun clash of players. Let me tell you about them. In the teal, we have Ozone, who you've seen a bit more around the scene recently if you've been following the high level. Guy's been really grinding. I actually think he has played more games than anyone in the top, 300. And I'm not exaggerating. I think he's played 8,000 games, if someone could check his accounts. Anyways, he's playing as the Poles here. A civ that is really strong on closed maps, but they have to do some rather specific things to take advantage of their bonuses, like farm around the full work and mine stone to receive some gold. So on an open map like Arabia, you have to work harder. And here we've got some pawns and whatever too, which make closing the map off more difficult. In the red, we have Monos, and I really like casting Monos because the dude is just wacky, man. Like, he has his days where he plays more standard, but more often than not, it feels like he's a player going towards extremes. And extremes could be relying a lot more on economy and just going 5 town centers and defending, or it could be really aggressive and really messy, which is the Monos that I know and love, and it's the Monos I would probably expect here. So Huns, classic Arabia civilization, Poles, newer civilization in general, can be good on Arabia if things go right. But having played Ozone a lot, having seen his growth as a player, I could just tell you that he definitely falls into that meta archer type player. And between the two of them, he tends to be the guy that is playing the cleaner of the two. Why is Ozone V2.0? What exactly got upgraded? I believe he probably hit 2400 elo. And since he plays so much, which could include some moments where he's tired, this account is probably just so he doesn't lose 100 elo after he worked hard to get 2400. I think he's probably like 2250 or 2300 elo on this account. And he, again, I don't know, but I do know he hit 2400 recently, so that's probably my guess. So, what is this zebra doing? Oh God, no, don't do it. Oh God, is it even worth it? By the way, since he wants to build, what is happening? Okay, I think he screwed up a bunch here. I think since he wants to make farms around full works and not around the TC, he made these starting houses here, which I think is actually a nice move. But he didn't make a full work, he made a house next to the berries, which is funny to me because the full work counts as a mill and also as a house. So, anyways, he's trying to bring in as much food as possible. This is a build he does a lot. He's going to go up fast here. Go for some quick archers. And that build is made possible by the fact that elephants have a bit more food. Players have figured that out now. So usually you would almost always make a mill in Dark Age. But these days players are going up a bit faster because they will use their mining camp as the second Dark Age building, and then they delay the mill and whatever else. I can't do it well. Like these 18 pop archer builds are just way too tight for me. I just can't figure it out how to play clean. But it's an Ozone thing. I've played against him probably like 50 times over the last year, so. He reduced the greenhouse gases, apparently. That's exactly what he did. That's what I should have said. Oh, Monos, please tell me you're forwarding. Forward for me. Oh, yeah. Okay, so he saw Ozone Scout. So he knows Ozone Scout is over here. And almost immediately afterwards says, oh, okay, we're going forward, baby. So another fun fact about Monos is that he played this game back in the mid-2000s, right? And there's a game on Barbecue Turkman's channel. I don't know if you guys know Barbecue Turkman. If you're newer, you might not. He's one of the OGs of casting. He used to cast a bunch of games on fast speed. Nowadays, you guys I cast a game on normal speed, and people on YouTube just turn up the speed in the video. But anyways, I'm not offended by that. There's a game between Slan, still present day pro, and Monos, I think from like 2008 or 2009. And it was a Hun war. And back in those days, you had a lot of forwards. And what it was is a lot of spearmen and a lot of skirmishers. So let's see what happens here. Manos found the enemy, sees the barracks. Doesn't know if the opponent is going for archers or scouts yet. And now sees the archery range. And he's actually going to have the archery range right on the same screen as Ozone. Only Ozone's super confused. Look, guys. He's like, what is he doing? Now, he's starting to wall up, right? Because he's blind. So he's worried that he's not going to have the protection he needs. And look at this. This is why I'm so happy, man. I'm so happy about this game. I hope people enjoy this. He researches Town Watch. Part of that could be that he didn't have a house, so he didn't have populations to, like, space to make any units. But Town Watch gives you a little bit of vision. And because of that vision, he can now see that Manos is making a tower there. And he is going to make a counter tower. Now he also sees a random spearman's here with the random skirmisher, and he's, like, really annoyed. But okay, I'm going to tell you something that is so easy for me to say in the moment, but would be amazing from Ozone, okay? And that is to grab this archer and your next archer and go to Manos' base. That's why you don't see a lot of forwards these days, is because people recognize, don't give attention to this. You have to wall real quick, and then you have to immediately counterattack. Fortunately for Manos, Ozone is very distracted by all this and has struggled thus far. The other thing is messy games are really good when you don't have to make houses, because people forget houses and all the proper timings. But dude, this has worked so well, guys, because Ozone, he wanted to make a mill on the berries eventually, but that's been delayed. These villagers, they might not die, and they might even fully regen later on, because that's a Polish bonus, but they're not working. So now he's got to drop this full work before he can make any farms. And he's got random spearmen skirmishers. Guys, how do you counter a skirmisher? Well, you need scouts for that. Okay. But what counters a scout? The spearman. Now, you could also take it the other direction, and you could say, well, you know, archers counter spearmen and scouts counter skirms, which is true. But it's crazy how fast this whole thing, if it hits you in the face, and how awkward and messy the games become. But Ozone doing the right thing here, guys. And Ozone's now going to send a couple archers forward. I wonder if Manos is going to be able to deal with this. This is the most devastating thing you can do to someone who does what Manos has done to you right now. It's just head to their base, because they probably won't have anything. And I think Manos knows, like, he was going to make the outpost, and I think instead he just clicked his villagers here, because he knows there's archers, but he doesn't know where they are. He knows they should be here soon. Oh, no. Here he goes. Oh, boy. He is coming home already. And, guys, I really hope you enjoy this game. Especially people who are going to hit YouTube later on, because I can already tell this game is amazing. I joined this game. Someone was like, well, what about this player? What about that player? And I was like, that's probably going to lead to a predictable result and a predictable game. I know what Ozone likes to do. I know Manos is a really enjoyable player to watch. And there's been some really fun aspects of game sense here. Ozone sensing that there could be a forward. Manos sensing that the counterattack could come. We still don't have any villager kills yet from Ozone. But he's starting to place some farms around the fullworks. He's still got his wood. He's got another fullwork. He's got some potential. Also, Ozone deleted the farm because farms are 1 HP when you place them, and the skirmishers could have actually hit it. Did Ozone... Wait. That was a Vil, right? Did Manos delete that? I wouldn't put it past Manos to delete that. Let's see if this one counts as a kill. If it will even die. Quick wall, spearman. He runs away. Alrighty. So the fun thing about a forward with a tower is it can delay your opponent from getting walls down. And then you can go into knights in the next stage. And the Huns are really good at that. So I'm kind of excited to see how Manos wants to play this when he heads towards Castle Age. Vil suffered a heart attack. Doesn't count as kill. Okay, that's not true. All right, Vils can't have heart attacks. A scout there getting value. Scout will die, so there's no more scouts on the field for Ozone. A good job from Monos to track this, but we've had a pretty messy, but pretty good game thus far. If you delete a unit, it doesn't count in Capture H. I don't even know if it counts in the actual game. I think it doesn't. I don't think it counts as a death if you delete it. Anyways, skirmishers versus skirmishers. Good micro from Ozone. You can tell that Monos is probably looking at this. But what's fun about the knight buildup that I talked about, or just, you know, how the game could play out in general, is that your opponent's now got like a couple archers, but not a lot, and now some skirms, which scouts are very good against. Ozone, creative from him. He did go to stone, so he's taking advantage of the Polish bonuses, farming around the full works, and then also mining stone, which leads to some gold income. There's a massive storm outside. Just heard a big old boom. And Monos is just sitting at home. He's using the army he can't use right now. And he's tracking what he can. He now sees a scout. And this is going to shift into, well, it should shift into, if Ozone has a chance in this game, one of my favorite things in the game. So we've already had the messy style versus the standard style. But now we had a woo, woo, woo. What is going on with my stats here? Wait a second. What's happening? Look at the deaths. Look at the kills. Everything's off. Anyways, it's going to be all in Feudal Age versus Castle Age, guys. Because you've reached a point where you're Ozone, where if you try and wait for Castle Age without making more army, you're going to die. So what he's doing is, and he actually, if he has walls, he could be okay. He's producing a significant portion of army here. Monos is going to brace himself for it. He's even dropping a tower here next to the gold. Again, I would say the key here for Ozone is, as he comes forward to try and get some value, the key here for him is make sure you're walled, because you do not want those knights to be able to get into your base. The knights will eventually kill this. Also, Omar, welcome to the stream. Sorry, I've been so focused on the game. Discord link is not only in every YouTube video for people who are watching this on YouTube later on, but it has just been linked for you. So you can't produce a lot of knights, but like 3 knights clears up everything here. There's also an overchop there. Monos sees it. Monos protects. Really sucks in these situations that you can't make a house. With every other civ, you just place a house there to block the foundation. And that market will be able to block it. And okay, Ozone says he's in castle. That's not good for me, but that does mean he doesn't have army for a while, because he probably stopped army production. So he dives. Really good play from Ozone here. And, oh man, Monos. Oh, this is brutal. He does finally lose a villager that shows in our stats. And wait a second. Wait a second. Scouts are almost all dead. Skirmisher archer army hasn't really helped that much. Villagers head back to work. And Ozone's walled up. But Monos has survived. Okay, so this is where you do a lot of double checking on if you're walled or not. I'm curious what the decisions are for Monos. You see all the running around with these random fills? This is Monos, man. He can be a very structured player, and he has reached higher heights than like what he is at currently. But I think Monos is like early mid-30s. When he watches stream, if he speaks Spanish, I recommend it. He's like more of a silly guy. And oh no, there was a hole! Oh, disaster! Ozone. Oh, more like throw zone. And oh no! Ah, it ruined what could have been the perfect game. Oh, God. Dang, what a bummer. Because if he runs into walls, then, you know, Ozone has the time to make more knights. And then, other things happen here. Ah, the game flow was perfect. It really was. Like, I think Ozone, if he doesn't let the knights in, would have his work cut out for him. But it would be very manageable for him. Monos would start adding monks and decide on if you wanted to be really aggressive to pressure the buildings. Well, that's relatable from a high-level player there, not having your walls down for some of you guys, I'm sure. Sad times. What were the resources collected? I mean, Ozone had a little bit more. Not a lot more. Enough that probably came from the fact that he received some gold from mining stone. And he would have been able to make a castle in the next stage as well. And would have had his work cut out for him, like I said, but still should have been able to defend from that. So, resigned even faster than me when castle dropped? Well, yes. That is impressive to say the least, because I know you do tap out of there pretty quickly. No, just kidding. Well, I'm on the fence now, and if I should upload this video, I feel like it's a bit of like a tease. The game flow was perfect, and then that game ends, but had everything going for it to be a good video until that one little hole. He didn't realize there was a gap between the gate and the blacksmith.